Java with Joe the podcast is brought to you by Kemba Credit Union, celebrating over 90 years of quality service to our membership. Sponsored in part by First Choice Coffee, the official coffee of Java with Joe, and Real Vision. Also by Bethesda Butler Tri-Health Hospital and Cincinnati State Workforce Development Center. And now your host, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Westchester Liberty Chamber Alliance, Joe Hinson.
Thank you. We're with Kerry Murray, Vice President of Sales and Client Services for Spot On Productions. Welcome, Kerry.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and maybe even reminisce a little bit.
Yes, I'm sure we will. So, where are you originally from, Kerry?
I'm originally from Valparaiso, Indiana.
Okay. So you're a Hoosier.
I am a Hoosier.
Yes.
And
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but you graduated with a BA in advertising and a minor in marketing from Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. So what took you to Des Moines, Iowa?
Well, I wanted a school that actually had a degree in advertising, not just communications or anything. There were three that I was looking at. One was Northwestern in Chicago.
Okay, sure.
And then Drake. And then University of Hawaii, which my parents officially said no to. So also Valpo's really close to Chicago, and I really wanted to go somewhere new. And it was a great sized school with a great program.
Yes.
So.
And as we've talked, Drake was in the NCAA tournament this past year.
It was. In fact, they were in the Final Two the year before I went to school there. So basketball has always been really big.
Absolutely. So, but while at Drake, you were honored by the Des Moines Ad Club as Ad Student of the Year.
I was.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Do you remember?
I do remember. I have a little amulet that I wore for a while that they gave me. I'll be darned.
Yeah. And
you have done some great research.
And you were included in the Who's Who at American colleges and universities?
I was.
Yes.
My senior year, we got to do a full-blown presentation on Meisterbrau beer. If you can remember that was a Chicago beer. Uh-huh. And we got to go into J. Walter Thompson to present. Uh-huh. It's kind of a capstone project. And
very good. Very good. Well, once you graduated from college, you began your career at the Young and Rubicam office of CMF&Z Advertising in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
That's right. Quite a mouthful. I had interned there, and they were a very rapidly growing agency. And when I interned there, they were in the process of coming on to Y&R as one of the Y&R agencies. Y&R was the largest ad agency in the United States at that time. And we were actually $100 million shop, so a really big agency in a small place, and handled a lot of national and international accounts. So the merger with Y&R happened right after I finished my internship, and then I came on that January.
Very good. Your sales and marketing background led you to a career in radio for 14 years.
It did.
14 years.
It did.
Starting out as an account executive and promoted to a sales general manager. So you basically started out learning the business and then basically as a sales GM. Talk a little bit about those radio days when you first started.
Well, I started in radio because I was at the Y&R office, and the person from the radio group that I talked to about media buys wanted to hire me. And at the time, my husband was also Mike, who was also working at the agency. And I just decided it was time for a little bit of a change. I also liked the idea of going on commission and, being paid for what I earned and was worth. So
that says something. While you were there, and again, what we're finding is a pattern here, because obviously you were somebody who was rewarded for your work. You became one of the first 100 people in the U.S. to be designated with a certified radio consultant.
Yes.
What is a certified radio consultant?
It's somebody that just doesn't sell. It's somebody that is able to go in and work with the client to find out what their needs are, ask the right questions. It's more of a form of complex sales. And honestly, that has served me right to today in the success that we have with, I don't see myself as a salesperson at all. I want to be a consultant. I want to be a problem solver for our clients. And that course really taught us to ask the right questions and find out a lot about the company that we were talking to before we ever went in.
Sure. Well, that obviously bode well for you because you helped grow a radio station, KHAK 98.1, into an Eastern Iowa market leader.
We were, yes. And we also had an FM station which covered a lot of sports. We actually aired NASCAR, which I always thought was a really weird thing to put on radio, but we had a big listenership.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, something. And we were the flagship station for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yes, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We
Okay.
are. So you lead me right into it. So during your radio career, you worked with legendary former University of Iowa head coach Hayden Fry.
Well, we did. Mike also, again, back to our crossing paths in many ways, he also produced the Hayden Fry Show.
Oh, very nice.
And so traveled with the team.
Yes.
And was responsible for getting the clips and then doing the show. They would return on Saturday night or Sunday morning, and then they'd assemble the clips and then do the Hayden Fry Show with those clips. So yeah, it was a great relationship back and forth, and with Hayden, and also nationally known broadcaster Bob Brooks, who was the voice of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Very nice.
For both basketball and football.
Very good. So I've got some trivia for you. Okay. You probably know this.
I hope so.
You do. So did you know that in the 1990s TV sitcom, actor Craig T. Nelson's character
was based on Hayden?
Yes. So what do you think of that? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
They called him Hayden Fox in the show.
Yeah. Hayden was... He was an amazing man, not just coach-wise, but, man, if he met you, he remembered your name. He would ask questions. He'd remember your kids, ask questions about your kids. And he was also the one that decided that Hawkeyes needed a new brand, and that came up with the Tiger Hawk.
Very good.
I'm going way back now.
Yes, you are. Yeah, amazing. Obviously, Iowa in the Big Ten would play Ohio State. And I mentioned legendary coach because they have a street named after him there.
Yes.
Right there in front of the stadium. So, yeah. Going down memory lane a little bit. Yes, we are. Let's say you were also active in Leadership Iowa and Leadership for 5 seasons. Tell us about your passion for the leadership programs early on.
Well, I did see early on. I did when I was at the K-Hawk stations. My boss chaired the chamber board, and I got to see a lot about active chambers and what they were doing in the community, and was able to get into their leadership program. And from there, that was kind of a springboard to Leadership Iowa.
Very good. And obviously, it's stayed in your blood still today,
I'm
right?
a great believer in community leadership programs. I also, for years, went to NACL, which was the National Association of Community Leadership National Committee. And actually, I went when I was here as part of the chamber as well.
Very good.
But it's a great organization. It really, it develops leaders, but it also gives those who are already in a leadership role more ability to be strategic and to understand how their community works.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're born in Indiana. You went to Iowa for school. As a profession now, you came to Ohio. What brought you to Liberty Township?
I was a trailing spouse. Mike stayed at the Y&R agency 17 years, I think, but was recruited by NCR to come on and run their international multimedia department. And at that time was also the hostile takeover when AT&T bought them.
Okay.
But again, a great organization, good culture. So took the job pretty quickly. I really didn't want to move. I was really happy with what I was doing. The station was continuing to grow. My boss bought the stations and grew it into 5 stations. And I had a lot of opportunity there, but we came here and it was really the best decision we made.
Absolutely. Well, while here, you decided to become an entrepreneur, and you started Murray Management Resources.
I did.
So talk a little bit about making that shift to working for somebody, being your own boss. What was Murray Management Resources?
Well, it came out again of another opportunity that I had when I was still in Cedar Rapids. As national sales manager, we brought in a company called Professional Dynametric Profiles, which is think Myers-Briggs, think DISC. And we worked with them to train our people, the entire staff, so that there was a better working relationship between, production and on-air people who thought all we did was take people to lunch.
Sure.
And didn't understand. We really were out there working. But that's just one point. But really, I saw what it did, and I became a huge proponent of it. So when we moved here, the gentleman that I had worked with the franchise in Cedar Rapids, called me about using PDP and doing more organizational development, and he trained me. And again, great opportunity. My kids were 2nd grade and 5th grade at the time. And it gave me a chance to continue to develop myself, what I was able to do, but also be able to be there when they didn't meet. I, at one point, had a sign on my door that if it's not on fire and you don't have a limb that's broken, don't interrupt me.
And this is when you became an active member with our chamber, and in 1999 you joined our chamber staff, leading our membership and marketing departments. And you got connected to us initially because you heard that we were starting a leadership program.
I did. I called and said, hey, I have a real heart for this. I would really like to be involved, and talk to Craig Rambo, who was very active with the program at that time, and you were starting it up. And again, just real passion from me on being a part of that. And he said, well, you got to be a member. And I'm like, okay, I'm a member. And then I got in, and then we did the marketing committee, and yeah.
Rest is history. But it's I tell the story that when we first met, we were deciding upon how the leadership program could get started and what steps were needed. And as we had this meeting and talked about what needed to be done, each time we asked who would do this, your hand would go up. And to the point I said right then, I said, I need to know who Kerry Murray is, because obviously she's this excited about our leadership program, and we had just met, that there's something there that obviously I want to find out more about, because she knows something more about this leadership program than we do. What's the secret sauce? And obviously you've proved that over time.
Thank you.
And yeah, so obviously you remember those days, and from the beginning, we went from the transition of volunteering and helping us with leadership to leading us as one of our key employees of getting things started here. Obviously on the membership side and the marketing side, and you were really instrumental in helping get us our Leadership 21 program off the ground. And I know you remember those initial days in our first class, our first graduating class for Leadership 21, and it was called SEBC Leadership 21, was 2000. So take us back, if you will, and just obviously something anew. You came in with a lot of experience and knowledge of what the end could look like, but helping us get this started and being able to put the first class together.
Well, immediately saw the potential in the chamber and in our what was then Southeast Butler County region, but Liberty and of course Union Township at that point. But really just saw the growth here and the potential and the people that were available. And I knew what programs like Leadership 21 could do. So it was making sure that we covered each segment of the community from a knowledge standpoint, but then also being able each time to interject, some leadership activity, components, exercises, and just fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Watch that happen.
Well, and not only Leadership 21, but the Chamber over the years had other leadership programs that you were involved with. You want to talk a little bit about that because there were different age groups
Yeah.
and different opportunities for different segments in someone's career.
Absolutely. We had some folks that had been involved in Leadership 21 and had gone through the program that really wanted a way to take high school kids and let them know what was available here. So we didn't have that brain drain, and we didn't have people leaving and not, maybe for school, but seeing what was the potential, wasn't coming back. So it was really a leadership development for juniors in high school, and an opportunity for them to really learn about the community, the growth potential, what was happening here. Fabulous opportunity, again, for that leadership and education. And hopefully, and I do know some of them who went through that program that are here and contributing
Absolutely.
to our community.
And so that program was called Leading Edge.
It was, yeah.
And obviously that was an opportunity to take it to another level. Some of them went on to go Leadership 21 and to the point of still being very productive business people in our area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously for a key area too for you was growing the leadership alumni group and how important that was for you also.
Absolutely, and I'm still involved on the board today for that.
Yes, you are.
For that
yes,
reason.
you are. So you started with the Chamber in 1999 is when we first connected. And you were here through leadership through the 2011-2012 season. And your family business came calling.
It did, and I had always been kind of that background silent partner, helped do our business plan initially because I had done that at the radio station. And we just grew to a point that we needed somebody else. And
Not just anybody else.
It really did. You're right. It took things that I was good at and that I love to do, which I think is important for anybody. You've got to be passionate about it to be good at it. And it seemed silly to hire somebody else. And by that time, my son was very active in the business. And it just made sense to make it an official 3 Murray. Although we did have some people that had a 3 Murray rule. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. I remember that too. That was it. Yes, I do remember that. So at the time, it was not called Spot On Productions. It was Murray Multimedia Resources.
It was. And nobody ever got the name right, even clients that we'd worked with for a long time. So then we tried to go by MMR, and that really didn't mean much. So we worked with a local consultant who was here at the time, and it was a chamber member, and Pam Beeg. And she helped us rebrand and redo our sales process and really put us into place to grow. And we became Spot On Productions. And that was actually from a voice of the customer conversations that we had. People said, "Oh, you guys were spot on. You delivered exactly what we wanted. You delivered it on time. You delivered it." So we kept hearing this spot on piece. And it was like, and of course the play is there on the spotlight, which is the icon in our logo. So, and that was huge because it was memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking about Murray Multimedia Resources, Spot On Productions. Let's take time to talk about Spot On Productions today. What if somebody's tuning in? What is Spot On Productions?
Spot On Productions is a video production company. We also do corporate photography, and our point in the market, or our difference in the market, really is threefold. Number one, we want to be that company that inspires. We want to produce video that inspires action. Going back to the complex sales and understanding your customers' needs and being able to deliver on those needs, part of that is we go through a process where it's like, what do we want the viewer to feel? What do we want the viewer to do? So we want to be a company that inspires. And then I mentioned passion earlier. I think that's really our second point of difference is the emotion and passion and expertise that we have. And then third is just the fact that we have a proven production process that we have brought along and finessed as we go, but it includes a big part of emphasis on pre-production, so that when we wind up with the cameras and the lights and everything, it's all buttoned up.
Right.
And we know where we're going, and if we're interviewing, we know where we want to take. We do pre-interviews, and we take people down the road where it's not scripted, but we know what we want that to be. And
Absolutely.
that if we've hired talent, the talent is prepped and ready. And so much of that is important with the pre-production process. And a lot of, it's an education process for a lot of our clients, because it's like, why are we spending so much time on pre-production? Well, because we're going to save you money and time.
Very good. Absolutely. Well, and then one of the things I think you're very good at is wanting to tell a story.
Absolutely.
Wanting to tell a story. And to the point about the prior planning is that you need to find out what that story is. A lot of times the client may not necessarily know how that they do have a story, let alone what's going to make a great story for the viewer. And you're able to obviously get that through the process of the pre meetings that you have before you actually start videotaping.
And you've been a part of those.
Yes, we have. And, let's talk about obviously the history with the Chamber, which goes back early on from the videos that you've done for those of you who have come to our events, Women of Excellence, our hype videos, Leadership 21, the Everest Award, the I-75 Growth Corridor videos. So a lot of what people will see on our website or when they come to our events from a video standpoint is Murray Multimedia Resources / Spot On Productions, support of our chamber, and basically been able to tell our chamber story along the way.
Yeah. One of my favorite projects, honestly, was when I was still here, and we did the 25th anniversary video. And we were able to go back and not only tell the story of the chamber over 25 years, but to really effectively tell the story of the area and the growth and the vision and everything. That was the first video that we did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, interesting enough, next year is our 50th anniversary. Can you believe
You're
that?
dating me, Joe. You're dating me.
Well, and dating me too, so we were both in this together.
We were.
Yes,
We were.
absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about something that obviously you market as an organization, creating bespoke video that inspires. What does that mean?
Well, I'll give you a little grammar back, because we started seeing bespoke as part of some language, and actually our creative director at the time said this would be great. We looked it up, we talked about it. It actually goes back to the mid-1800s in England, where tailors created bespoke suits for the gentry, because every suit was different and it was tailored to that person, but actually they picked the fabric, it was their style. They were making a statement. They were making a brand for themselves.
Sure.
So that's what we do. We are not a cookie cutter organization. We don't have packages online for you to come on and pick something or anything. We go back to that complex sales and consultative sales piece and work with the client to create something that is for them specifically, to be a solution provider to them, to whatever the communication needs are. And they're all different. And we put that
Absolutely.
love and passion and expertise into everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, along with obviously the longevity of the organization comes the success in being recognized and rewarded. In your line of work and the type of videos you do, that type of recognition is Telly Awards.
It is.
And so how many Telly Awards has Murray Multimedia Resources, Spot On Productions had over this period of time?
44.
44. And so they're different levels, is
They
that
are.
correct?
There's sort of like the Olympics. There's bronze, silver, and gold.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I think it's wonderful to be recognized by your peers, and how those are judged is by people who have won Tellys before, come on the Telly Council, and then they are sent videos, sort of like the Academy Awards does it. And then they're judged and awarded via the peers. And in fact, the Telly Award statue is made by the same company that makes both the Emmys and the Academy Awards.
Very nice.
It's a hefty piece of hardware.
Yes, it is. Yes,
You
it
have
is.
one somewhere.
Yes, we do. One of the things that we've noticed along the way is the fact that even though you're located here in Liberty Township, you do things nationally as well as internationally.
Yes, we do.
Right? So here we have a local business that has put itself in a position to be a global business also. Talk a little bit about that, because obviously that takes a lot when you're starting a business as a small business and you're building that to be able to get that recognition throughout the nation and obviously throughout the world.
About the time A came on full-time to Spot On, our business was 90% repeat and referral. And we saw that in order to grow, not that this area hadn't been fabulous to us, but in order to grow, we really needed to be looking at larger companies and companies that had a larger need and a footprint for their marketing, branding, et cetera. And so we actively started talking to our customers, doing a better job of getting those referrals, and who else do you think we should be talking to? And then sometimes it was just not an active referral, but somebody who talked to somebody who knew somebody at a conference or at a business, and then that came through. So still most of 90% of our business is still between the Northern Kentucky and Dayton market, really the corridor. But those companies also have had a need. For Rheinstahl, for example, they sent us to China, they sent us to Ethiopia to interview and see what they were able to do with the GE engines. Because those engines have to be taken apart every so many miles, retooled, re-put on, and then put back on planes.
Sure.
And so that was the cause for going overseas for those. But then we've also done work for clients in Missouri, Texas, California, Arizona, a lot in Detroit, actually.
Very good.
Chicago. Those are the ones I can think of. Oh, and a lot in Florida.
A lot in Florida too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice gig.
Well, it is if you go there the right time. And our funniest story was we wound up in Bakersfield, California, and Scottsdale in February. And our producer, Melissa, was so excited about she's from Florida originally. So she's in flip-flops 9 months out of maybe 8 months out of the year. And so she was so excited to go out there. And they had the coldest winter they'd ever had. They had to stop at a store and buy parkas.
Oh my goodness.
But that's the fun of, and that's that's one of the things that we all love about this business. We're all passionate about the art.
Yes.
But continuing to learn about other businesses. I mean, we're not just doing videos for one company and one. I mean, the learning process is fabulous.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you yourself are a longstanding board member for the Gehring Center.
I was. Until recently, Ian has taken over that board spot for me.
So for those who maybe are not familiar with the Gehring Center, obviously you have a family-owned business.
We do.
And so and how important that has been for your group.
It's been fabulous. The Gehring Center is a part of the Linder School of Business at UC. It was started by John Gehring, who was a professor there. And he came from a family business background and knew that the family and closely held businesses needed a lot of help. I mean, it's kind of like the book, The E-Myth. You're good at doing something, and so you keep doing it, and then you start to grow, and then you don't know all the stuff you need to know about the business side of the business.
Sure.
And so they're like-minded individuals, and they provide a lot of informative breakfast, luncheons, a lot like the chamber does, but specifically to that family business and closely held private
good.
business.
Absolutely.
And that's been wonderful. And then Ian and I are both on roundtables
Okay.
for them. So, and I'm on a roundtable. I've been on a roundtable for 12 years, and I am by far the smallest business of women executives and, well, actually chairs and presidents in that roundtable. But the thing that's amazing, because we've got somebody that has a $20 billion company, but the issues aren't really they're bigger sometimes.
Sure.
But they're very, you do contribute and you do learn very much from each other.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Very good. And it's also Leadership 21 alumni. You mentioned that before. How gratifying is it for you to see you helped get started a leadership program at a chamber that allows you to still be involved and be a part of the alumni board for that program?
It's very fulfilling. I love it. Love being a part of it. Trying to kind of hang back and let everything, not the old, well, this is the way, but just evolve, but just keep the culture and the benefit, more importantly, to those that are going through the program. And getting them to see that there's a benefit in, I think that's one thing that we're seeing as growth here, is letting people who have gone through the program know that there's a way to keep that going, whether it's with the connections or whether it's with new informative things that are happening like Springboard.
Sure. Very good. Absolutely.
Do you want to talk about Springboard?
We can do that. Well, I would tell you, Springboard is an opportunity through our Leadership 21 alumni program and our emerging leaders. So something that is obviously new this year, and an opportunity of bringing basically two groups of people, and you mentioned this before, the opportunity to learn from each other and how important that is. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So again, it's a offshoot of Leadership 21, and it's an offshoot of an opportunity of taking that group once they've gone through Leadership 21 and allowing the opportunities to kind of have tentacles to other groups out there that are in business today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about why you have kind of been involved with the chamber from a staffing standpoint, but also leaving the chamber has put you in a position of still being honored by the chamber, which is very unique. And one of them was that in 2014, you were named Walter Epley Lifetime Member of the Chamber, which showed obviously your passion for still being involved with our chamber, though time had spent on the family business. You still had not forgot your roots here with our chamber.
Absolutely. Well, the chamber is a very strong part of, I believe, of the growth and the success of this community and what the chamber provides to its members. And it's just a privilege to continue being a part of that effort, but it's also an opportunity for me to continue to give back. And I have a passion, as you know.
That's right.
I'm not a official chamber ambassador, but I am a chamber ambassador.
Yes, you are. And also with that, Woman of Excellence, Class 2017.
Yes.
Congratulations once again.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
once a woman of excellence, always a woman of excellence. But again, being honored by an organization for your work, not only with us, but outside of the chamber and with what you've been able to do with your business and in the community.
Yeah, that was definitely a surprise. Well, actually, the Walter Epley was, you don't like surprises, but man, was I surprised that night. Probably one of the first times I've ever been almost speechless. I think I rallied for a couple words.
Well, you did. And plus, for those out there that would like to see this, it's out there. I
still is?
I think it still is.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I believe, what was it, Ian, that actually filmed that surprise and watched your expressions and watched you go up to the stage and, as you said, got a word or two out, and that was about it. But yeah, that was a memorable time, an exciting time, and one that was well deserved.
Well, and thank you for that, because yeah, the chamber's near and dear to my heart, and I really, really appreciated the opportunity to always be involved.
Absolutely. So what can we expect from Spot On Productions in the future? You've got, obviously, you've done a lot of great things. You continue to do so. You're involved in the community. You're involved regionally. You're involved nationally. You've done some things outside of the U.S. This is times have changed. We're past COVID, and I know we're obviously in a different arena here with the way businesses run. What do you see as far as the future for Spot On Productions?
Continued growth, because as you know, it's a digital world today. When we started, we were doing primarily marketing videos for companies and TV commercials. And over the years, that has grown into be sales, capabilities. COVID, although it was a difficult first year of COVID, we went back to what our clients need from us during this time. And as you were aware, we built a studio and we're able to bring people in to do videos because we couldn't be going out to them. At that time, 90% of our videos were done on location.
Sure.
Gave us an opportunity to pivot, and that continues to be, the studio continues to be a great growth opportunity
Sure.
for us, especially we've been doing, I mentioned corporate photography. That has allowed us to do some brand photography, some product photography as well, to go with the videos
Sure.
that we're doing, not as a standalone, but as an extra service. And so that has helped, but it's a digital world. We used to do a video, right? It used to maybe be 5 or 6 minutes long. Now it's more like 2 or 3 if it's a brand video or it's for an event. If it's for an event, it might be a little longer. But again, 90% of what we're doing right now is doing that original video and then doing what we call social media shorts,
Okay.
or some people call them vignettes, so that we know ahead of time if it's a scripted video, we know what pieces we're going to take out to tell a part of the story.
Sure.
Or if we're doing a testimonial or an interview, we're able to cut those down into anywhere from 15 to 60-second
Right.
short videos for the internet.
Sure.
So videos become a much more important part of the pie. And I know a lot of people have gone in-house with video, which is great because they're doing a lot of those social media shorts.
Sure.
But when they want that professional, well done, and they want help with the concept and the creative, then we're going to grow with that need as well. So we're looking to double our size in 3 years.
Very good.
That means we're looking more like 10 to 12 people on staff. Right now
Okay.
we have 6. We have a 7th coming on, who was an intern last year with us, that's coming on to the production piece, both a shooter and an editor. And we're real excited about that.
Hey, should be.
So one thing I should add, Joe, about the growth of the company is our son Ian came into the business in 2002 from a part-time basis. He was also a Westchester firefighter.
Right.
For 12 years, and but has been a huge part of our rebrand and getting involved and growing bigger. He, it's my son, so he sees things on a different level than I do in terms of the opportunities and the growth, which is fabulous. And so he became president and is part of our succession plan for taking over the company. I mean, it's amazing. He was born into this.
Sure.
And has always been very active. He worked for Westchester Community Television for several years, high school, and then part of the time when he was in college. So that's a nice asset to have with a family business.
Yeah, nice transition. That's a
And
proud.
so while Mike and I are still active, that's definitely he's definitely the part of the succession plan, and developing the culture because we have younger people working for us.
Absolutely.
So that's been a great advantage to us, and
Very
we'll be
good.
moving forward.
Absolutely. Good. Talk about the importance of the community, and especially during COVID. We wanted to get out to the community leaders in Westchester and Liberty, and Spot On Productions helped us do that by a couple Zoom meetings that we remember that. So we were able to connect our community at a time where we could not get together with community leaders to talk about what was going on with each of the organizations, the townships, the schools, the foundation, the Visitors Bureau, the chamber, and kind of working together in our way of communicating to the community. And Spot On Productions was the arm that made that happen a couple times in giving back to the community. So again, we want to thank you for that.
Well, we did the Healthcare Heroes instead of,
Yes.
instead of Women of Excellence?
Instead of Women of Excellence,
Yeah.
yes, we did. Yeah, we to your point, we pivoted,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And just kept things going. And so, and as we all know, it's a team effort working together for the betterment of the
It's
community.
Connecting people and possibilities.
Yeah, well, I've heard that. And by the way, that was Kerry Murray who came up with that slogan for us. You know, that's our tagline that basically started back almost right when you started. I think right when when we changed the
Name.
change the name in 2004. And it's still fresh to this day.
Did the new logo, and which I still love because it has the coming in and going out, and we've got the roads and the infrastructure and the money coming in and all those things that were important that we symbolized.
Still as fresh today as it was back in 2004.
Yeah.
So Kerry, somebody's looking at this today and they want a video. You talked about the importance of videos, or they want their story told. How can they get a hold of Spot On Productions to set up one of those initial meetings that we were talking about?
Well, part of that visionary I mentioned with Ian is that he secured a domain for productions. So we are Spot On, SPOT, capital ON, .productions.
Okay.
That's it.
Very good. And so our viewership can get a hold of you and that way, and then you obviously connect with them and the opportunities and let the magic begin.
Yes, appreciate it.
This has been Kerry Murray, Vice President of Sales and Client Services for Spot On Productions. Kerry, thank you.
Oh, Joe, thank you. It's been fun going back and reliving everything, and thank you for the opportunity to tell a little bit more about Spot On Productions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Java with Joe has been brought to you by Kemba Credit Union, sponsored in part by First Choice Coffee and Real Vision. Also by Bethesda Butler Tri-Health Hospital and Cincinnati State Workforce Development Center. Thanks for listening.